It's such a rare snake. Here in America, very rare for anyone to have anything like this, like a plain black snake. So I know in the future I probably won't ever get another snake like this again, and that's why I really enjoy this animal. And it's crazy because for a lot of other people, you see a snake like this, and you're from America, you're gonna think it's a black racer, that white on the chin, black body. But no, this is not a black racer. It is a snake with an extremely potent venom. Look at this man. He's just finishing up that water, he's slurping it down. That's why I gotta be super gentle and moving him around so he doesn't upchuck that water. Look at his face. That is a true dragon. What a beautiful viper. No. I'm sorry about that. What's going on, beautiful people? We got a good episode today. We're gonna be taking care of the plain black snake, and we're also gonna be soaking up some Bushmasters. Ooh, look at this. We've got a wild Jeffrey right here. Take a look. Hey, let's see if we can have a go at this one. Let's see if we can have a go at this one. Stay low, stay low. Got him good. Very good. Big black mamba is today. Oh, hey, what's going on, beautiful people? I was just singing to myself. Anyways, I was just checking out the big black mamba. Big Allison, she's hanging out, stretched out. Looks like she's gonna be getting ready to shed soon, so that's gonna be pretty cool. She's growing like crazy, never stopping. Today, we're gonna be taking care of the plain black snake, a snake that we don't see too often on the channel because it's a very secretive snake, and honestly, just doesn't need too much maintenance. Just like a simple snake, we go in, we change the water, take the poop out, just like the rest of these guys, but there's so many snakes in here, I don't always highlight all the animals in here. This plain black snake's only been on the channel a couple times, and over the period of, I guess, coronavirus, almost a year, I've had this snake, and this snake has been doing really good. It had what looked like maybe nematodes, or not really sure what. It came from a couple different places, it bounced around, and it was sitting at this one facility for a while, and they couldn't rehome it. So eventually I took this snake home because it's such a rare snake. Here in America, very rare for anyone to have anything like this, like a plain black snake. So I know in the future I probably won't ever get another snake like this again, and that's why I really enjoy this animal. It's super unique. The only snake of this species I've ever worked with in my life. It's really interesting to learn their habits and the way they move around, their body language, because the thing about the Pseudechis family, which is what the plain black snake comes from, they're very peculiar snakes. They're very interesting acting snakes. Like we have the Colette snake from Australia. It's subterrestrial. It's a very secretive snake. And then you get a snake like the plain black snake, which is like a red-bellied black from Australia that likes to live in the marshlands, but also is extremely athletic when it gets provoked. Meaning, when they launch at something threatening them, they flatten out their neck, and they bow up like this, and they shoot forward like an eel. It is insane to look at. So we're gonna see how the snake's acting today. Typically, when I take her out, she's a little wiry, but you know, she only gets a little nuts for the food, so we're not feeding her today. We're just gonna give her some fresh water and clean her enclosure and give her a good look, because I love seeing this snake. It's truly a privilege to be able to work with this animal, because I'm not gonna be able to work with many more of this species unless I go to somewhere like Papua New Guinea, which I think we're gonna do hopefully in a year or so. So this snake likes to burrow too. I gotta make sure I know exactly where the snake's at, because out of all the Pseudechis family members, meaning Colette snakes, red-bellied blacks, the plain blacks, king brown, pygmy king brown. Out of all these different snakes, the plain black snake is the most venomous, drop for drop in that family. So we're gonna look through the mulch. Okay, not there. Oh, we got some movement right here. She's probably right there underneath that substrate. Let me see if I can get a hook on her. Oh, see her tail right there? We got a little bit of tail. And I was talking to somebody recently who used to work with this snake, and they were telling me that this snake is actually fairly old, or definitely gone through the first portion of its life. This snake's nearly around 13 years old, apparently. And the guy who was contacting me used to work with this snake. Oh, here she comes. Used to work with this, see that tail flailing? Used to work with this snake, and he really wanted to get the snake into his collection because he had so many memories with this animal. But what I think I'll do, since I'm never gonna get rid of this snake, I gave him the option to come check it out. And if he ever wanted to get this snake and I gave up my collection, then I'd hit him up definitely, but I'm not going to be getting rid of this snake. It's a beautiful specimen, and I want this snake in my collection for the rest of its life because it's such an interesting species to work with. I love the odd species we don't get to see too often. Let's get this guy. This little lady nice and comfortable. See if she's flattening out her neck. That is exactly what a red-bellied black will do when threatened. Let's get her nice and comfortable. It's okay, relax, relax. She's really going for it. And it's crazy because for a lot of other people, you see a snake like this, and you're from America, you're gonna think it's a black racer, that white on the chin, black body. But no, this is not a black racer. It is a snake with an extremely potent venom. It's an Elapidae family member, so they do have front fixed fangs, and it's very easy for them to just tag real quick and envenomate. So you do not want to mess around with this snake. But it is a beautiful species. This snake has to be at least around 5 feet long, good sized snake. And they actually get a lot bigger than this. I've seen photos of some of them that are around 6 feet long, and they're really, really thick, good sized snakes. As you can see, she's looking a lot better than when I first got her. She looked like she had a couple different skin problems, and she still does have a little bit of scarring up and down her body. But the more she sheds, the more she eats, the better it's going to be for her skin, because she'll keep shedding that skin and it'll keep healing over time. But like I said, apparently she's over 13 years old. So she is an old girl. And the good thing about that hook is you always keep that metal in between that first third and the head. So if she just decides to strike like that, like she just did, that hook's going to block her somewhat, and I'm somewhat protected. So it's all about the skill set when you're handling these snakes. You don't want to make a mistake. But yeah, when I look around her body, I do see some chew marks, and you can definitely tell that she's been through some stuff. I'm not sure if she was ever originally wild caught or she was captive bred. Not sure. Like I said, she's been in America for a very long time, and she's been at least here in the US for 13 years. Look at her. She looks like she wants to give the camera a good bite. Ooh. Good thing that's a big camera. We don't use a little GoPro. Ruth's got a good handle, keeping her hand away right now. It's definitely interesting to see these snakes up close. So we're gonna put this Papuan black snake inside. Oh, did you guys see that? The snake literally just bit its own tail trying to bite me. All right, let's get her into the can. So she's nice and comfy. You guys can check her out if you like. She's just doing her thing, which is spazzing out a little bit. But yeah, very interesting. So it turns out that's a 13-year-old snake. Really cool. And I can't express enough. This is a snake I'll probably never be able to get again here in the US. So I definitely want to keep this snake for display for the rest of its life. For the guy that wanted to keep this snake, I gave him the option to come check her out. And obviously, if I ever decide to get rid of her, I'm contacting him first. Because I understand what it's like to work with an animal and want to be reunited with it later down your career. My King Cobra Justina, a certain crocodile that I'm hopefully getting down the road from Native Village when I was a kid. There are plenty of animals that you want to keep working with and you want to see go throughout their lives. Because it's part of your career. When you work with wildlife, you put a lot of time into the animals, and it's really nice to see them grow up. So anyways, we're going to be cleaning up this enclosure. Let me move some stuff around. Get this glass out real quick. As you can see, the water bowl is pretty dirty, but I'm going to be getting rid of all these metal bowls. Just because I have so many snakes, I had to accommodate. I had to throw some metal bowls out there, some fake rock bowls to make it look nice, but I got more fake rock bowls, so we're going to be using that instead of this metal one anymore. We want everything to look a little more aesthetically pleasing in here, obviously. Let's see, we want to take out all that poop, so I'll see you guys when I'm done picking up these biscuits. Alright guys, let's get some H2O inside this nice looking, aesthetically pleasing bowl. Get water in there with this little sprayer. And then right after we're done with this, we're going to be using the same sprayer to give the Bushmasters a good soak. We're going to make it rain on them, make sure they get some nice H2O. Alright guys, I'm also going to mist down the enclosure because like I said, these snakes live in the same habitat as a red-bellied black on mainland Australia, meaning they like the swamps, they like to hang around ponds, marshes, they like to eat the frogs around there, lizards. So we definitely want to make it nice and humid in here. Alright, so we're good to go. Glass is nice and clean. Now we're going to put that plain black snake back. Let me get this ready. The interesting thing about plain black snakes, red-bellied blacks, and also not in the same family, but similar, over in mainland Australia, the western browns and the eastern browns, these snakes are very vocal. They'll see you if you walk up to a wild one and literally be on the road and do this. That's the thing about Papuan snakes and Australian snakes. They are very, very intense, not just for handling, but they just let you know they're not messing around. They mean business. And they do. Snakes with venom as strong as snakes like this, they should be warning animals to stay away, because it would be pretty unfair if this was a very quiet snake and all it did was defensively just tag animals. But that's the thing. That's not what snakes are all about. Snakes want to reserve the venom that they have for food. Because venom is very complicated to make. It takes a lot of energy to produce venom. Venom is a protein, a modified saliva, that takes energy to create. So if they waste that venom on you defensively, now they don't have an opportunity to feed themselves in the future. So it's very important that these snakes let you know that they're not messing around, so they don't have to waste that venom defending themselves against a predator or even just a human trying to take them out because they don't like how close the snake's getting to their home. So the biggest thing about snakes is you gotta give them respect and let them live near you, because they will manage your rodents. They will stay out of your way, and certain snake species will end up eating other snakes, because that's how it works. You get a lot of other snakes that are very deadly, but they manage all the other snakes in your area. So if you don't like snakes, you got snakes that eat other snakes. If you don't like rats, you got snakes that love to eat rats. So snakes are a benefit for humanity. You never want to kill them. It's no good for you, it's no good for the animal, and it's really not good for you if you end up getting bit in the process. So gotta respect the snakes and let them be. Now let me lock this enclosure because we really respect the snake. Nothing in here is a personal pet. Everything in here is for educational use and for promoting conservation. All these animals are in locked, secured, snake-proof enclosures. This whole entire room is a snake-proof room approved by Florida Fish and Wildlife. We get inspections every year. You got double doors on the entrance, so there's no possibility of escape. It's very important that we follow these rules because all these animals are great ambassador animals for their species. They're great for conservation. It's important. The last thing we need is an animal getting out, making headlines, and making a big hysteria of an animal that shouldn't have been out in the first place. It's all on us as keepers, as hobbyists, all of this, just to be responsible and represent this hobby, this lifestyle, these animals properly. Because if you don't, you end up just being like a Joe Exotic. Nobody wants to be a Joe Exotic. Be a steer one. Alright guys, we're going to sanitize this can, like I said. Even though I've treated that plain black snake for parasites, I still like to sanitize the container just in case. So I'm just going to wipe that down really good. Let me spray the other side of this cloth. I'm going to sanitize that hook too, because it's very important not to cross-contaminate, especially with a species like the plain black snake. Because next we're going to be dealing with my Bushmasters. And Bushmasters are my... Oh, Bushmasters! That's what they are. They're awesome. Bushmasters are my favorite viper. We're about to take them out. Let me go get the keys and I'll be right back.
Chandler, come on. We gotta finish.
Is it time?
Yeah, we gotta finish the video. You know what time it is?
Alright, beautiful people. We're going to be taking out the male and the female, putting them in this can. We're going to be soaking them so they can get nice and hydrated. I'll tell you why we do it like this in a second. Gotta be real careful because this male is very, very accurate. Actually, old Bushmasters are extremely accurate with their strike, and as you can see, this guy almost wants to shoot out. Their heat pits allow them to be one of the best strikers on the planet, just because their ability to accurately target their prey. Let me get this guy up. Nice and smooth. Because I'm not really in a position. There we go. Bushmaster. And I can feel there's some poop inside that last third. These Bushmasters will hold their poop for some time. They'll hold about 2 meals or so until they just drop a really big spicy meatball. So he's going to be going to the bathroom soon, but look how beautiful this Bushmaster is. This is my male, so he's nearly 2 years old, and he is a gorgeous looking male. Now I'm not going to be breeding him to my female because he is the sibling of that female. I'm going to have to get different bloodlines so I can keep those genetics nice and pure and have no inbreeding. Now although reptiles aren't really the same when it comes to inbreeding, they can handle it a little bit better, which is something that has been said a lot in the reptile world. I don't approve of it. I'm not breeding morphs. I don't want to breed sibling to mother or cousin to mother or whatever. I don't want to do any of that stuff. It's not my interest. Everything we do here is for conservation, and I want to make sure that if we're going to breed this species, it's a pure bloodline, and there's nothing wrong with these animals, and they're actually a contribution to the future of Lachesis muta, just in case anything were to happen to them out in the wild. Now Ruth, make sure you keep an eye on that male in there. I'm going to pull out this female right. Oh! Did you guys see that? I think my snake hook's not long enough. You saw how far that strike was? Let's go nice and slow. Once she realizes that she's not getting food, she kind of comes out of that feeding mode and she starts to calm down. Ever since I've had her, she's been a pretty good snake. Let's get that tail. Ooh, look at her. That's a good sized female Bushmaster. Look at that beast of a Bushmaster. This is my favorite viper on the planet. Look, you see how she's targeting right now. Look, she's focusing on that heat lamp right there because they have such acute heat-seeking pits that the second they pick up something nice and warm, they will strike out thinking it's a food item. Watch. Watch this. She sees that heat lamp. She's right on it the whole time. She's targeting it. The male will actually strike completely outwards at that can. Ooh. Go nice and slow, using the hook to keep the Bushmaster from getting too close. Look at that snake. This is such a gorgeous female. I love her so much. She's got some beautiful size to her. Her colors are just insane. There are multiple species of Bushmaster, but this is the largest species on the planet. All right, guys, we're gonna be putting her inside the can. We're gonna give them some water, let them soak up. If you guys are new to the channel, the reason we do this is because these guys are prone or susceptible to red belly, which is like a fungal infection that they get from the enclosure being way too wet. And this happens with a lot of tropical species from Central America because people make their enclosures way too damp. And they end up getting these fungal infections which can actually kill them. So the important thing to do is actually take them out of their enclosure and spray them down, let them hydrate, soak and whatnot. But you never want to spray them completely down in the enclosure because you don't want to get too damp. Even though it's a species from the rainforest, this animal needs to hide inside logs and underneath trees to stay nice and warm and on some dry substrate. The female's already going for the water, getting a big slurp. Want some more? There we go, she's drinking off the side of the can. We'll spray the sides so she can slurp that up. Like I said, every week or every other week we like to take them out and give them a good spray. They have their water bowls in the enclosure, but just to make sure they're actually getting hydrated, we take them out and we soak them real good like this, just to simulate rainfall. If you guys look right there, you can see the male's claw right on the tip of the tail. You see that? I'm gonna spray some water right there. That little claw right there will help them simulate the rattle of a rattlesnake. So when they're in the shrub and they feel threatened by a predator, instead of just striking out and wasting their venom on that predator, they want to warn that predator to stay away. So they'll take that little thorn on the tip of that tail and they'll smash it against the leaves dramatically, and that will create a rattling sound just like the rattlesnake. So it's basically saying, please stay away or I'm going to have to bite you. And that's going to leave you dead and me with little venom. Such a beautiful snake species. And of course, I would love to get the black-headed Bushmaster. That is another top favorite viper for me. They are so beautiful. Just as cool as the Bushmaster, but they have a lighter pigment, and then they have real dark black on the top of their head and saddles going down their body. But they are extremely light. Instead of having this tan beige color, they have almost white scalation. So white and black scales. Really beautiful snakes. Ooh. Hopefully, next year we can get out to the wild and see these guys in their natural habitat. That would be awesome. Bushmasters up close in their natural habitat. Oh yeah, she's slurping like crazy. Look at her. I love seeing the little droplets on their head roll off. Those watertight scales allow that water just to roll off no problem without getting absorbed. Alright guys, we're gonna let that male finish up drinking right there. And while he's doing that, we're gonna get this female out. Be real gentle with her because obviously she just drank. Oh, sorry, mister. Just disturbed him a little bit. Now he's not going to want to drink. Beautiful, look at her. She is such a beast of a Bushmaster. Get a good shot of that face. You guys can see why they're my favorite viper on the planet. And it's really hard to say that I have favorite vipers on the planet because in reality, there are so many different types of vipers out there that take the cake for being so beautiful, so interesting with their natural history. Like, for example, the Habu viper from Japan is one of my favorite species of viper out there on the planet. I can't get it right now because obviously it's a really hard species to get. Japanese species are very pricey and they don't come in quite often. But they are here in the US right now, and in the future I'll get them. But as of right now, I'm saving up my money for the future facility, the conservatory for endangered species and whatnot. So I definitely want to save my money right now. And I do not want to keep buying reptiles or be given any more reptiles because, as you guys know, the last batch of reptiles I got was a gift from another reptile keeper. And I got mambas, I got all types of really cool stuff. Look at this man. He's just finishing up that water, he's slurping it down. That's why I gotta be super gentle and moving him around so he doesn't upchuck that water. Look at his face. That is a true dragon. What a beautiful viper. go, nice and smooth. Right back inside this enclosure. The hook's not really protecting me the way I'm hooking him right now, so it's best we get him back in. Help him with that tail. There we go. Come on, right in there. Get that tail. Perfecto, perfecto. I'm gonna use the handle to close it just in case he decides to be a little nippy. The Bushmaster has an amazing strike range, and obviously, we only want to test that out. Locked, secured. Locked, secured. Perfect. All right, beautiful people. I'll be seeing you on the next one. Stay beautiful, stay safe, and most of all, don't forget, get your own Chandler's Wildlife merchandise on Teespring. Check us out on Patreon, where we're gonna be having all types of exclusive content that you won't see on here on the main channel. And don't you beautiful people forget to smile and have a good time. And if somebody seems a little bit upset, go hang out with them. Just wear your mask. See you on the next one. Stay beautiful, stay safe.